Yeah. What should we wrap it up, or should we dip into something that you and I have?
Go into
dabbled
that, I
in?
reckon.
Yeah,
Why
let's
not?
go into it.
Okay. I also started playing a game on Apple Arcade. Called World's End Club.
Yeah.
And recommended it to you. Mm-hmm. You've given it a bit of a quiggle. It's coming out on the Switch now. Yeah, we had to do deep research.
Only more
before
complicated thing than Final Fantasy VII release schedule. Is
I just want to. I've got one more.
Okay.
Because of what I typed in, which was rhyming dictionary.
Okay.
But I like the game Ramen Dictionary.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, for you, a rhyming dictionary
I
is a
didn't even
ramen
need
dictionary.
to go the whole way through. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Sorry.
this is out now.
World's End Club.
This has been out on Apple Arcade for a little while.
Like 6 months, which I had no idea. It came out in September.
Yeah, I've kind of been, sort of been looking at it for a little while, thinking it was a bit on the fence about whether it was worth giving a try to or not. And it's recently, it got announced as a thing in that Nintendo Direct. So it's coming out on the Switch on May the 28th.
Right.
Which will be the only other place. At the moment, you can only get it on the Apple Arcade.
Yes.
And so the current version of it that is on Apple Arcade ends on a cliffhanger. The Switch will be the completed version, which has the end. And one would assume that when that comes out, there will be an update to this Apple Arcade version that has the ending on it.
Yeah.
However, that is pure speculation and just based on kind of a common sense assumption,
right,
and not something that has been verified in any way by any of the team responsible for this game.
Yeah, not a lot of info apart from exactly what we've already said about this game.
Yeah. It's also not clear when you start playing it on Apple Arcade that it is essentially unfinished.
Not at all. You would have to maybe start playing it on Apple Arcade, Google whether or not it had cross-save between Apple devices, and then find out, it's not even the full game, I'll stop playing this.
Yeah.
But it is
and
like 10
if you don't go
hours.
through that process, you only find out when your friend says that to you. Yeah.
It is like 10 hours or so. And yeah, it's weird. I guess maybe the assumption is that it's... I don't know if you were we able to find this out? I don't know if you can just get it off the App Store for a price. I think it's just included as part of Apple Arcade. So maybe the assumption being like, well, yeah, who gives a fuck? You're getting this essentially for free as part of this package, so who cares?
Right.
But all of that aside, it is. I think I'd say it's somewhere between sort of stylistically Persona, and the movie Saw, and like a visual novel, right?
Yeah. It is. People are describing it as like a Danganronpa style game.
Well, it's the same people,
right,
who made it. Danganronpa and there's another one, 999. Or those ones, are they the same people? The Nonary games, those fucking, you know what I mean?
I mean, I've never played any of them.
No, but I think they're the same people.
I would also say that it reminds me of a TV show I watched recently called Alice in Borderland, which is a Japanese show where a bunch of like high school aged kids, and some older people, basically get dropped into an alternate version of Japan where there's no one else there, and they have to solve a series of puzzles and compete in a series of high stakes games, battling for their lives.
Yep.
It's
very similar.
Very, very similar.
So
to
yeah,
this
this is a group of like 11 school kids. They're in a bus crash. They wake up in an abandoned aquarium, and there's kind of this like sort of supernatural figure kind of taunting them. And the less you know, the better going in. But the very beginning of the setup is that they have all got these wristbands on, and they each have a task that they have to do, and their task is on someone else's wristband. And if you fail to do your task, you will get eaten. So people...
You'll get eaten. You toss that off a little casually. Yeah, you lose the game. Which means you get like grabbed by this thing, and it's all very mysterious and seems very violent.
And so to find out what you have to do to win the game, you have to learn that from someone else in the group. Yes. But everyone doesn't want anyone else to find out what they have to do to win because they themselves want to win. So they're immediately kind of turned against each other. There's 11 of them that all have very like distinct, pretty archetypal, but also managing to be pretty interesting personalities. It's very cartoonish in style, which I really like because it plays against the very like eerie kind of Saw-esque kind of fucked up sort of premise that they're thrown into. You basically play this wordless mute protagonist who kind of basically running around trying to work out what's going on and sort of siding with some people and being antagonized by others, and very kind of like light platforming in that you're basically just going from A to B to sort of progress the story and then scroll through text.
Yep, a little.
It really isn't even platform.
No, it's not.
Yeah, you're moving through predetermined obstacles that are impossible to fail almost. Like it's,
there's a bit where you have to like jump to another ledge,
yeah,
and you can fuck it and fall down,
but
I did a couple of times trying to control it on an iPad screen.
Sure.
But the fact that there's even a challenge there that you can fall down the end and not do seems kind of pointless at all. Like,
and you can like move a few blocks around to get up to other places. Like there's very tiny puzzle platforming elements, but there's not a lot of gameplay to this game, which is my only criticism of it, which I think maybe as a game is a fair criticism.
But as a visual novel, which it probably should be exclusively, the game is a hindrance to that part.
Yeah, and that part is sick. I love it. I'm loving the story. I'm loving the characters as sort of, archetypal as they are. They're very interestingly drawn, most of them. The story is cool, and it's really a genuine mystery. And
it gets going straight away. Like I kind of thought when I booted it up that it was going to be a bit of, Persona. For as much as I love it, it takes a long time to really. It really takes its time getting going. This is like pretty immediate.
Yeah.
Like they're watching this fucked up video on the bus on the way to a school excursion, and then they wake up and they find that this is kind of happening to them in real life, and then it's all on within about 3 minutes of starting. It's just straight into it.
Yeah.
And it's pretty gripping right from the outset.
Yeah, I didn't know if I was loving the aesthetic when I was just sort of like, installing it, looking at screenshots and stuff. I don't think that even matters. I was really immediately and surprisingly drawn into the story, and I just kept playing it like I was reading a book I couldn't put down.
Same.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
Seeing that it wasn't going to be the full thing, because I was into what I'd seen of the story in less than 2 hours, made me go, I'm going to stop playing this.
Yeah.
And I'll get the Switch version when it comes out in a couple months.
I think it's a little more annoying for me because I don't intend on keeping Apple Arcade. Like I got it for free for 3 months, and it expires probably before that, right? Or maybe I'll just make it.
I think you might just scrape in.
May 28th is when the Switch version comes out.
Yeah, right. Well, I only activated Apple Arcade a week ago.
Okay.
I think you'll be fine.
March, April, May. Nah. You're just fucked, I reckon.
Yeah.
But it's like $8 if not, which is still cheaper than the full Switch thing will be.
Well, that's true, yeah.
I'm a bit split where, I am into
So's the
it.
game.
And
I'm
into it enough that I kind of want to keep going with it now. And I think I put 4 hours or so into it. And I kind of don't want to redo all of that in a couple of months. I'm feeling like maybe I would rather just get to the cliffhanger and then, wait it out a couple of months, do a little, recap for it, and then do the last little bit. Having that bit of time in the middle and experiencing it as an actual cliffhanger.
Right.
It seems like maybe it's meant to have... I don't know.
If it does come out, the second half of it, on Apple Arcade, then it's episodic. That's fine. That's a common, there's no problem with that. But it's really unclear.
That it is insane that they have not said one way or the...
Yes.
It has to.
Surely.
It has to be.
If it's, I think I agree. I like the potential that it is a 10-hour game with a great cliffhanger that I get to think about for a couple of months and then play the rest of.
Right.
I hate the idea of having to replay it all.
Yeah, exactly.
I just don't
Even
want
if
to
you
do
have
that.
if you
to
can
just
go straight into a part 2 in the Switch version or something.
Yeah.
But having a
even if the second bit isn't on Apple Arcade and so the first bit is the demo or the free bit if you've got Apple Arcade.
Yeah.
And then the second bit is exclusively you have to pay $15 for it or whatever.
Right.
I'll be happy to do that.
I would also be
as long
happy
as I
to
can
do that.
as long as I can
Yeah.
as long as I can at a certain point pick up where I left off and finish the second half.
Yeah.
And not have to do it all again on the Switch. I don't know. Yeah. But anyway,
that aside,
all of that aside, what's there is great.
Yeah,
and I would recommend picking. Look, put your eggs all in this basket. Especially, it looks great on the iPad. It's got that nice big screen. It's a bit of a pain in the ass controlling with the screen, but again, the platforming is not really too much of a point of it. It's not really too much of a hassle, and you can play it with a controller if you want.
Yeah,
you can Bluetooth through the pad or the phone.
It made me just a little taste of it want to finally play. I've had those Zero Escape games recommended to me before. That's 999 Virtue's Last Reward. and then another one.
Okay. Cum slut.
I don't believe it's called that.
Okay.
That's a weird word for you to have said.
Maybe it's a mistranslation.
I would assume so.
It's like Donkey Kong.
Yeah. That was his original name.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I agree. It also makes me want to play, Danganronpa and stuff.
I'd like to take the opportunity to do that in between the real version of this or the full version of this coming out. And now.
I'd also, I don't know, it would be cool to do a, if enough of us finish this first bit, it would be cool to do like a spoiler chat and kind of go in depth on where it ends up and where we think it's going to go before the second part comes out.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we'll do that in the future or not. But let us know if you're listening and if enough of you go in and it seems like it's worth doing. Like maybe we could do a full chat about it.